So it's still a bit of a work in progress out here in my garage, where I've set up a new enclosure for Bossk and Tiamat. I also have 2 Zoomed iguanariums set up. One of them for Lucky, who, as you guys know, I kept out in the back porch and on the patio for the bulk of the summer. And then I have a pair of anole smallwood that I had out. There is hopefully you can see her. Let me flip the screen back. But there she is in the back. That's the female. No telling where the male is. He's a bit of a chicken. There's my boy Bossk right there. So I'm gonna go ahead, and this is the first time that I've given them their super worms out here in the garage. So I got to be a little bit careful. As you guys know, they do have quite the feeding response, and should they get away from me, I'm almost embarrassed to do this, but I'm going to show you what I'm dealing with out in my garage as far as the mess, the clutter that I do need to get straightened up, and that is my game plan. But for the time being, this is what the garage looks like. So quite a few places, if either Bossk, Tiamat, or Lucky were to get away from me, that they could potentially hide for quite a while. So while we're looking at it, this is just some framing I did, and the game plan is going to be to wrap this in a reinforced poly sheeting, and that way I can put a little bit of what I plan on doing right in the middle of the floor is just a oil-filled electric heater. Keep it warm during the winter because it does get a little chilly out here in the garage. The floor will be for Indy, so it's about 8 feet by 7 feet, so not quite as big as her outdoor enclosure, or obviously nowhere big as the backyard, but bigger than what she had, and easier for me to clean up instead of making a mess on the kitchen floor. So I'm going to go ahead and set this camera up on a tripod, and let's go ahead and feed Bossk and Tiamat and see how that goes for the first time. Tiamat is definitely an aggressive eater. She's got those first 4, took them right from Bossk. So I got to be careful, I don't want them to fight. Stop it, Tiamat. Here, don't fight Bossk. There. Plenty for both of yous. This is about 50 super worms. Tiamat. I do have a divider for this enclosure. This is a customcages.com hybrid enclosure. And I did order it with a divider. I don't have it in right now. I'm kind of hoping they'll get along and I won't have to divide it. This feeding response, I don't equate this to any kind of aggression other than me being stupid and not feeding them separately, which is kind of difficult. And, right there, eat it. Bossk is remarkably gentle, whereas Tiamat is an aggressive eater. Here, all right. This is the first time I've fed them in this new, or fed them super worms in this new enclosure out here in the garage. So as you can see, it's wide open, and they decided to bolt on me. As I showed you guys a second ago, it would be tough for me to get them back. So I don't know if Tiamat is done eating or she just got spooked by Bossk. So There she is. Definitely not done eating. I'm going to try to give him some grub pie here in a second as well. What else going on? Alright, last one. Oh no, get it right there. Good girl. And the grub pie. Still relish. Very chill iguanas. So just so people don't think that I overfeed them, they will fast tomorrow. Today's Sunday. I do not feed Bossk, Tiamat, or Lucky on Mondays. And then, so that's 2 days out of the week. And then I might feed them 2 or 3 more times salads. So they're not eating every day. They certainly don't get this protein. This is once a week that they get protein. Maybe I will supplement a salad with some high quality dog food, or I'll put some alfalfa powder on it, which alfalfa is a high protein vegetation. But no more than twice, and then the insects and the grub pie only once a week. And it is hot back here in this garage, but there we go. So there you have it. That's my first attempt at feeding Bossk and Tiamat. And then I was asked, don't go nowhere. I was asked on Instagram how long, or how big they are, how long, specifically Bossk. So let's go ahead and see if I can get a rough guesstimate. So that's right at 2 feet. So Bossk is longer than 2 feet. He's kind of curved a little bit there. So trying to obviously do this without them bolting past me. Let's see here. Bossk is about 30 inches long. Tiamat's probably just shy of 2 feet. Buddy, so you let me pick you up, show you to the camera. Oh. That's my boy. What's up, big boy? You say hi to everybody in YouTube? He's an impressive iguana. Alright, let's put you right there. Whoop. Alright, whew, I'm back here sweating. Let me flip this up. Don't want you guys looking at my fat gut. There we go. Alright, so that was my first time feeding Bossk and Tiamat out here in their new enclosure for the fall and winter. The enclosure is a 6 foot long by 4 foot tall by 2 foot front to back customcages.com hybrid enclosure. Just took me a couple hours to put together. I had to have my son help me, and I did film a bunch of it. I should say I attempted to. So I do have an unboxing and a partial assembly video that I'm going to post here shortly. Just unfortunately, I don't know whether my instructions on, hey, push this button to record were not given clearly enough, but I am missing the latter part of the assembly, which is probably the most important part. But I showed the frame, I showed how the corner pieces work, holding the framework together. And specifically when I did my inventory for the unboxing. So I'm going to piece that together here shortly and show you guys. But we will wrap up today's video. We can't forget about Lucky. So let me flip the camera back down so I can see what I'm doing. Straighten it up. So of course, when you got all this stuff on top of the enclosure, you got to get stuff out of the way. And that is hot. And that is hot. So gonna be kind of hard to do this with one hand holding the other hand, but let me show you guys what Lucky's getting. Of course, Lucky's got a couple pieces of grub pie and some super worms. So let's see if I can do this with one hand without Lucky flying out of the enclosure on me. So we got to undo the little clasp and hold our bowl. Oh, see? Alright, let me set the tripod up and we'll point it at this so that I am not being stupid and you guys don't see me lose a iguana in the garage. Sorry for the shakiness there. Bend it down. Alright. Here we go. Come back over here. And Lucky is just as voracious as her mom. She is quite the pig, destroying some super worms. Once I get this wooden framework wrapped and there's a barrier between in here and the rest of the garage, I will definitely tongue feed her and probably get her out and about, maybe do some leash training with all three of them, and I won't, you know, if they get away from me in this small little area here, I won't feel so bad about it. But there's Lucky eating, and one last shot of beautiful Bossk and Tiamat to wrap up the video. Alright. And it is warm out here in this garage, so I am sweating profusely. Anyways, for everybody south of Virginia and the Carolinas, I hope you fared well. I know that my line of work, being in law enforcement, I know what emergency management is all about, and hazard mitigation, and I actually spent 12 hours in our emergency operations center when we weren't real sure where the storm was going to go or how bad the impact was going to be. I'm thankful it didn't make it up here. I've lived through a couple of hurricanes, but positive vibes to anybody impacted down south. I know North Carolina and the New Bern area, where I've been a couple of times, got hit pretty hard. So just sending some positive vibes to everybody down there that was impacted. If you like what you see, please comment, share, subscribe, and until next time, take care.